Yeah, peeps, you made it to the Tree Fort of Monday Club. I'm Gus Davis. Along with me this week is the ghost of Mr. Peter Bois. We want to give a special shout out to all of you guys going through finals this week. I know that that's tough. This week on Monday Club, we fill your ears with Monday Club classics so that you are in on all of our inside jokes. We also share with you some more stories from the road from guests that didn't quite make it to air but made us laugh uncontrollably. And of course, this week's teachable moment. Stick around, it's going to be an awesome time. Hey y'all. Pete is in Austin this week, so naturally, we didn't have time to do a dual recording. It's literally easier for us to record at the polar opposite sides of the country than we're in the same freaking city. So, this week on Monday Club, we put together, for your entertainment, some of our favorite moments, and we wanted to release some of the bonus content we've been holding back. Thank you for all of our subscribers to our newsletters at MondayClubPodcast.com. And to all of you Monday Clubbers out there in our Tree Fort, cheers! Here's to you. So let's start off by taking it back to a Pete Bois classic. This is when Pete started talking about telemarketing and ended up talking about his favorite spam letter of all time. I think this is classic Pete and Gus and classic Monday Club. Enjoy.
So I had a weird experience. I guess you could call it a weird experience. All right. We're redoing our kitchen, so we're applying for a home equity line of credit, so we need some thousands of dollars to do this. And I was calling banks and credit unions in my area, and I called a credit union in my area, and this the loan officer woman picks up and says her name, and I'm like, that sounds familiar. And then she starts talking some more, and then her voice sounds really familiar. And I'm just racking my brain. I'm like, who the hell is this? And I finally placed her. She is the mother of my high school girlfriend from way back in the day. Yes.
Wait. Okay, I'm trying to put this together. So the mother of your high school girlfriend. How long were y'all dating, you and this girl?
I don't know, less than a year, 9 months-ish or 6 months. I don't know, somewhere in there.
All right. Did it get pretty serious with you two?
No, I mean, we were exclusive, and all as serious as high school gets. I wasn't ready to propose.
All right.
If that's what you're asking.
Do you think, what I'm getting to is, do you think that helped or hurt your chances in this home equity line of credit?
I freaked out. When I realized this, all I wanted to do was get off the phone. That's all I wanted to do. I was just listening and saying, yeah, and just answering as little as possible. She didn't hear my last name. I never gave her my last name, so I don't think she knew it was me, and she has no reason to think it was me. And so she was the only one of the people I called, too, that was really trying to sell me and be helpful. And like she's like, do you want me to I can email you all this information so you have it on hand. And she's like, what's your email address? And it's like, my email address has my at peterbois.com in it. So
right.
Immediately she would know it was me. So I just said, no, I'm okay, thank you. I'll just take all this information and we'll talk it over and all this stuff. All I wanted to do was get off the phone, but she kept trying. She kept trying. She was sweet and nice, but I just wanted to get off the phone. I don't know. I had a knee-jerk reaction. I was so nervous. I don't know why. I mean, we're all adults. If I would have copped to being me, she would have probably been like, "Oh, how are you doing? A long time no see. How's everything?"
It's great. Hey, how's your daughter doing? Yeah.
God,
that's hilarious. Those are some awkward moments when you run into like the parents of an ex-girlfriend or something like that. I had a parent of an ex-girlfriend comment on one of my Facebook pages, and it shouldn't, like, her comment was totally legit and all of that, but it shouldn't be weird, but just starting up that conversation, I think somewhere in my brain I was thinking, man, I don't want there to be any chance that this conversation goes any further or gets back to my ex and have them, start something. So you don't start nothing, won't be nothing. So yeah, just cut it off.
If they'll let you. It brings up a memory. I was telemarketing years ago, for a few years right after high school, and I was working for one of those places that gets hired out by other companies to sell random shit to people, and one of them was Disney books, so we were calling parents of newborns and little children to try to sell these books, and they got free books, and then if they chose to continue, that whole thing, we don't erase their credit card number. And I called up a girl that I went to 6th grade with. It was weird. What are the chances? What are the chances I am being randomly connected?
Well, I mean, I'd say about 100%.
What's 100%? I mean, geez, there was 20. 20. Well, I mean, I went to school with a lot more than just 20 people. But what are the chances that I'll be randomly connected by a dialer and call somebody that I know? Or used to know.
Yeah,
and again,
that's really weird.
I never copped to being
It's a small world.
Yeah, I never told her I was who I was or whatever. But I had her full name, and I was just trying to get her information, get the hell off the phone.
Man, so another really random telemarketing story. So about a year ago, I was driving home from a gig, and I got a call from a number that looked like a number that I should sort of recognize, so I picked it up, and it turned out it was a telemarketer from my school that I had graduated from college, from UT. And it was this poor little cute freshman girl that was on the other end, and she's doing exactly what you were doing, right? Like, it's her first job. She's just calling up to try to raise money for the College of Liberal Arts. And so she calls, and she has a little script that she's going by, and one of her questions is like, well, so... I know that you graduated with the degree from the College of Liberal Arts. What did you end up doing with your degree? And me being a smartass was like, oh, well, I ended up being a game show host. And there's this weird pause, and she goes, oh, well, isn't it great all of the places that a degree from the College of Liberal Arts can take you?
Is that a nice way of saying you wasted your education?
Pretty much, right? Anyway, I just died laughing and then didn't give them any money. So that was my story.
That's hilarious. Oh, man. So one more thing that happened today that I want to tell you guys. I got the best spam message ever, right, to my email. And I want to read it to you and all of our Monday Clubbers.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to try to say it with it. I don't even know what they want. Let me just say that first. I don't know what they want from me. Okay, hello, comma. Of course, not addressed to me. My cat has been dying for the last 2 years. It is normal to me now. It is simply the state of affairs. There's a rhyme to her medication. There's a rhythm to her medication, a vitamin B shot once a week. And now, toward the end, painkillers. Over the last 2 years, I've come to suspect that my cat has gotten better. More comprehensive planning around her eventual death than most people do. That's weird, I don't know that. Dorothy Parker, Dottie to her friends, is a cat I adopted. She has 2 names and a cat. Is a cat I adopted in Brooklyn from a local vet. She made the cross-country hop with me to Oakland with minimal fuss. Her attitude, most of the time, is that of a 14-year-old Marxist in a Che Guevara t-shirt. One of her favorite moods is murder. She likes cuddling, hates strangers, and goes crazy for ice cream. She steals cheese. I live with a tiny, vicious alien, and I love her. What the fuck?
Wait, there's no donate now or can you help button or anything like that?
No. It's weird. There's an unsubscribe button at the bottom, but I am really afraid to press it.
Oh, yeah, don't touch that. Nuh-uh. Nope.
Is this...
Okay. So you don't know who this came from? It's legit spam?
Yeah, it just says and then it says stay subscribed to get more informative updates. Thank you. And it comes from John Huston, and the email address is daniel.goodwin@bluemarket.info. Should we go to bluemarket.info?
No.
They're in
no,
Arlington, apparently,
not.
too.
No,
Texas.
no, absolutely. No. I don't know what they're after, and I don't know what... I mean, somebody clearly put some time and effort into making this thing, but no, that's the weirdest spam email I have ever... You win. That is the weirdest spam email I have ever heard in my entire life, and especially that it sort of acts like it wants a donation, but then it goes into like a Tinder profile for the cat.
Yeah, I thought they were going to sell vitamin B shots at first because the cat gets a vitamin B shot once a week.
Oh my God! Wow. Okay. Well, yeah, that's weird. You win. How long did you laugh at that?
I'm still laughing on occasion. I'll start laughing on and off. It's been at least 10 minutes today. Thank you guys so much for listening to Monday Club. We love you all. Make sure you sign up for our email newsletter on MondayClubPodcast.com. Everything is up there. You can find out all our social, Twitter, Instagram is up there. Make sure you tell a friend about the podcast. We like to grow. We like to grow the club, so make sure you tell a friend or two about our podcast. Share your favorite episodes on your social media. And we're on Spotify, YouTube. You can listen a bunch of different ways. And, you know, sometimes people feel inspired to buy us a drink. And how can we do that? Because of PayPal, the magic of PayPal. So if you guys want to buy us a drink, you just tell us what you want us to drink and send us the money for it through our email, mondayclubpodcast@gmail.com. Or if you just want to talk to us, you can also email us at that email as well, mondayclubpodcast@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you guys. Also, give us a little love and rating up on iTunes. That helps spread the word about what we're doing here.
In one of our very first episodes, it was actually episode 2, I tell of the time in my early career where I got to dress up as one of my childhood heroes, Batman. Well, the story didn't quite turn out the way I expected. Take a listen. Do you have time for a 4-minute story?
Do I have time? This is Monday.
Yeah,
this is Saturday for me.
It's Monday. We're just hanging out.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
All right. So strap yourselves in, folks. We're in for a doozy.
Strap yourselves in. Here it goes. My number 5 is in Austin under the Congress Bridge. So when you're going to the South Congress and you want to just walk up and down, the bridge that goes over our main lake has Mexican free-tail bats that live under this bridge, okay? Millions of them. And during the summer, people just gather on this bridge at sunset to watch millions of bats come out and just turn the sky black with, when they come out from underneath this bridge. Okay?
When do they come out?
They come out at sunset.
At dusk? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, at dusk. Yeah. So that's definitely an attraction for the bats, and it's become a business for lots of different entertainment groups to support people seeing these bats. So they'll have paddle boats that, offer food and boats that, go under the bridge so you can see the bats from a different angle and all this. All right. I say all that because when I was in 7th grade, my mom worked for the University of Texas, and she came to me in 7th grade and said, "Hey, I have an opportunity for you to make some extra money." And I was always down to make extra money. She said, "All right, here's what you got to do. We're going to go to this costume shop and rent you the most badass Batman costume that we can, okay? I'm in so far. And your job is to escort couples onto this paddle boat for a University of Texas alumni reunion on this paddle boat, and we're going to eat fajitas and watch the bats go up. Okay? All right. So I got this costume, and I was ready to go, but the only caveat is I had to change into this costume at my middle school. Okay? All right. So...
7th grade? 8th grade?
7th grade.
7th grade.
So at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I go into the bathroom, I change into a perfect replica of the Michael Keaton Batman costume.
Whoa.
You know, all rubber, you know, the head doesn't turn, you know, a leather cape, the boots. I mean, it was period perfect as the Batman costume.
Dude, I would have done it for free just for that costume. That sounds awesome.
I walk out of the bathroom. I'm in our school student center. And this kid that was playing pool at the time looks up at me and says, "Oh, it's Batman!" and goes up to give me a high five. And I reach for the high five, and instead of giving me a high five, he karate kicks me in the nuts.
Oh, what? Oh, my God.
Which levels me. I, curl up in a ball and start bawling like a little baby,
what
right?
An asshole.
Right, but here's the thing. He wasn't trying to hurt me. In his brain, I was Batman. And Batman can take anything, you know? Or ninja block whatever comes at him. And he was so sorry. He was, in tears sorry. Oh my God, dude, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to. I'm so sorry. But he ninja kicked me in the nuts. So I crawl away from there. I get into the car. We drive to the bats. I escort people onto this bat viewing boat as Batman. All that goes fine. The next day, I wake up. I try to stand up, and I quite literally can't walk. I'm doubled over. I can't walk. Oh my
God!
Right? I lay in bed for 3 or 4 days. I end up getting dehydrated. They take me to the hospital. I stay in the hospital for 3 or 4 days. At the end of 3 or 4, and while I'm staying in the hospital, I'm telling all the doctors my back hurts. I can't stand up. My back hurts, right? At the end of 4 days, they end up sending in a new doctor. My doctor just quits on me, and they send up a new doctor. New doctor says, all right, let's figure this out. Let's walk it back. And I said, okay. I wake up one day, and I just can't walk. I think it's my back. And they said, nope, it's not your back. We've done MRIs. They did a spinal tap on me, which,
God.
if you can avoid,
painful,
if you can avoid that for the rest, it's, they take a 6-inch needle and shove it into your spinal fluid. It's terrible. They do all of these things. At the end of those days, they didn't find anything. So he's like, well, walk me back before that. What happens? And I think about it and I say, well, I did get kicked in the nuts really, really hard before I went out and did an event. And the guy was like, all right, well, let's start there. So he sends me in to get a sonogram on my nutsack. Okay? And in typical fashion, I'm in 7th grade, so what is that, 13 years old?
Yeah.
Huh.
You know what's weird? I've had a sonogram on my nutsack, too.
Have you really? Oh my God! Then you're gonna totally get this next part. So I'm 13 years old, and I swear to God, the sexiest nurse that I have ever seen in my entire life. I mean, Jessica Rabbit basically walks in a nurse costume and comes in, and if you've had a sonogram in your life, the way that they do sonograms is they take warm gel and massage it.
They put some KY jelly on your balls.
They put some hot KY jelly, and she's sitting there massaging my balls, and she's trying to be as professional as possible, right? So she's looking at me, and she's like, look, everything that happens from here, it's very natural, it's okay, don't be embarrassed, it's okay.
She's preparing for the inevitable of the...
Oh, God, I got when I say a weeping redwood gnarly boner, it was
oh my God!
It was the quintessential goddamn rock hard. And what was the worst part? My mom was in the room at the time because I was underage and she had to be there, and she's dying laughing
Your mom
the
is
entire
laughing?
time. My mom's in the room.
And she's laughing at you?
Because she knows exactly what's happening, right? I mean, I'm separated by a sheet, but it's.
Oh my god!
I'm sure I created a shadow puppet show. I mean, it was insane, right?
That must have been so embarrassing. You must have been red. You might have been. Oh my god! You must have been on the edge of tears and like.
It was the worst.
Oh,
it was the absolute worst, right? So she does the sonogram or whatever, and she's like, "Well, there's your problem. One of your things is twisted over the other thing." So the doctor comes in and goes, and twists back, and then I basically stood up and walked out of there like it was fine.
God.
Like that was the end of the story.
Twist back.
Yeah, let's never do that again, right?
Oh my god!
So all of that stemmed from the stupid goddamn bats that live in Austin under the bridge with me dressed up as Batman.
Oh my god! Oh, that's got to be one of my favorite stories of all time. Oh man! Wow, that is the embarrassment. Oh my god! I couldn't even imagine.
No, man. It was, it's time plus tragedy equals comedy, right?
Yeah,
so I've gotten over it. I've gotten through it. I've worked through it.
I'm just thinking my 7th grade brain. Like how awful that it would have been.
In one of our bonus contents for our newsletter, we posted this story from Mr. Johnny Zavant. The story didn't make it on air then, but we're airing it right now. You're welcome, and I'm sorry. Johnny, do you have a story from the road?
Okay, I'm going to give you guys dealer's choice. A story about how I got booed by 2,000 people.
Ooh.
Or my story of food poisoning from the road.
Both! Both.
Oh my god!
If we have to cut one, we'll add it in a bonus episode somewhere.
Okay, I'll give you mainly the Cliff's Notes versions of both of them, but which one do you want first?
Let's do the food poisoning one first.
All right, I'm in Utica, New York. I'm doing a nooner at Mohawk Valley Community College, and I get in the day before, and I get to the hotel. It's just this gorgeous kind of Art Deco, full of character place. And I'm getting in just before the kitchen closes. And they were like, yeah, we're still open for you. I was like, awesome. So I got salmon and mashed potatoes, and there's a plumeria blossom there on the plate. And I took pictures of all this stuff. So I could just swipe through and be like, oh, yeah, I remember exactly how I was feeling then. Yeah. So I eat dinner, and then I go, well, I got to get up early to go do this nooner tomorrow. So that's cool. But what's really neat is I got So I go upstairs and I go to sleep, and I wake up feeling green, right? Like my hands are yeah, like my hands are tingling, my feet are tingling, and it's not like they were like I slept on them wrong and they went numb and they're kind of waking up again. It's just a full body weird tingle feeling, and I'm feeling green, and I instantly know what's going on. I was like, So when you travel a lot, you are in a different place every night. I couldn't find the bathroom. So, like, it was total just room. Pitch dark. Yeah. So, but I make it, and I get the gasket seal intact just in time, and just let loose. And then I gotta grab the garbage can, and I'm just like, my body's just convulsing, and I'm just both sides just. So that happens on and off all night, and I'm basically still awake when it comes time to go do the show. So I show up, and I'm still tingly, and I'm like, oh god, this is awful. So I'm trying to set up, and then like every 10 minutes, I've got to go blow ass in the bathroom. But it's a nooner. It's in the cafeteria. This is the most heavily trafficked part of the entire community college. So I'm the guy that's blowing ass in the bathroom, just giger splat. And then come out and I'm like sweaty and gray, and everybody's like, "Oh God, right?" So, and then I go back out, and then I'm setting up my show, and everybody's like, "Oh, it's that guy. He was blowing ass in the bathroom." So, I'm setting up.
Do you think it made them more likely to see you or less likely because they were looking for a train wreck? Or
probably less likely. Like, if I were them, I would have been like, I don't want to get anywhere close to this guy because whatever he has, I don't want it. And like, the microphone stand was broken. They had the wrong clip for the wireless mic, so I had to, like, invent one out of gaff tape. And I was like, this is awesome. Took a picture of that. I was like, yay, small wins in the middle of all this stuff. And in this whole time, like, the client is there, and she goes, "Hey, I figured you would want to know. Last week, a comedian was here, and she got booed off stage. This is a really tough crowd, and if they boo you off stage, don't worry about it. We'll still pay you. Everything's fine. Just we're trying something different." I was like, "Thanks." And now welcome the mind-reading answers
right before you go on stage, setting you up for the epic fail.
Exactly. So I go out, and stage health like just kicks in, and I'm totally fine, but I can still, like, I'm doing routines, and I can like, oh god, but it, like, I maintain, and then immediately afterwards, I'm like, "Thank you, good afternoon," run to the bathroom. And then come back out and, like, sign autographs. Like, how insane is this? So then I was like, all right, well, I got to get on the road because I had a show the next night farther south, like just outside Pittsburgh, like Williamsburg, Pennsylvania, somewhere there. There's no direct path from Utica, New York down to there. It's all back roads. But I had a car that I've always wanted to drive, and it was an Eclipse. Right? I was like, oh, this is a cool car. So I'm driving an Eclipse, but then, like, the waves of nausea would happen. So then I'm driving, clenching my butt as hard as I can. Like, just, I've never worked out harder. And, like, I had a Pringles can.
Kegels.
And, like, I opened it and just threw the Pringles on the floor, but didn't make it in time. And I just, blip, 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 blip. I was just, like, I had pulled over on the side of a road where there's no shoulder, and I shamed myself. I had forgotten the face of my father, and I shamed myself. And then, like, I checked the damage, and there was nothing there. To this day, that's still the most amazing magic trick I've ever done. Like, I don't know what happened. Like, I was sure I had just shit myself. So
it's like the opposite of a wet, a fart that.
Right. It was
like,
ghost
nothing
fart.
came out. It was just a fart.
Right. It was like, awesome. So I haul ass and get there. Well, the guy that booked me was bringing me back, and he was a kind of a magician himself, and he wanted to talk magic when I got there because I was there that evening for tomorrow evening's show. And they put me up on on-campus housing, which I hate. I hate that. I'm sorry. I know it's really cute and quaint, and it's something that everybody's proud about, but man, I don't like it, and mainly for this reason.
Creepy old house.
I roll up. Well, basically, yeah. This one was in a girl's dorm. It's so weird. Like,
wow.
You couldn't get into, like, the dorm area, but it was kind of like the RA's suite.
Yeah.
Like, you walk in, and then here's the living room, and then over there's the bedroom, where there's just, like, this 4-post bed from the 1800s that was handcrafted with handmade quilts and stuff on it. I go to bed. I wake up with my hand in my underwear, and something's not right. Like, you know how car chases, like, movies start in the middle of a car chase, and you're like, what's going on?
Yeah.
This is really interesting. That's how I woke up. Like, I woke up in the middle of something that was already in process. And I turn on the light, pull the covers back, and it's just a sepia-toned crime scene. Like, it's horrific. It went through all the sheets. It got to the mattress. It got the handmade quilts. So it's 4:30 in the morning, and I'm hand washing everything. And I shimmy out of my shame pants and like throw them in the little garbage can that's too small and tie it up. And I realize like some poor bastard's gonna have to clean this up. Like some student is gonna have to clean this. So I just have to scrub everything and oh my god. So I hang everything up on the 4 posts, right, to air it out and take a shower, just try to clean off my shame. And then so I sleep on the couch face down. And then the next day the guy's like, "Hey, let's have lunch." I'm like, "Awesome." So I just drink water through the whole thing, trying to rehydrate. And like I hold it together. And then, like, awesome, well, you know, I would love to talk more, but I got some finishing touches on the show I want to do because there's some new stuff in the show I'm putting in just for you. It's like, awesome. So then I just hang out there for the rest of the afternoon until it's showtime. And then I'm setting up the show, and you know what? Things are better. Everything's fine. And then it's almost showtime. And I always say, hey, come look me in my dumb eyes to make sure I'm ready before you announce me. So that way I'm not caught unawares. Well, the bathroom was under the stage. And I'm like, oh God, I should not trust this. Let's take care of this before the show starts. And I was like, blah, 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 blah. Okay, good. All right, glad I got that out of the way. And I'm walking up the stairs, and they're like, please welcome mind reader Johnny Savant. Like, come on! I specifically asked you not to do this to me! So, like, my hands are still wet from washing them, and I'm like, hey, everybody, my name's Johnny Savant, for me to do what I do. Right? So I'm in. And it's fine, and I go out to dinner afterwards and hang out, and it's great. So I'm like, awesome. I'm on the other end of this. I'm totally out of the woods. It's fantastic. So I drive to Philly. I return the car. Everything's still good. I get on the airplane, and it's the most beautiful flight attendant I've ever seen in my life. And both of you know I'm very, how you say, gregarious, outgoing, and I strike up a conversation. And it's wonderful, right? I'm just like, yeah, this is fantastic. Like a third of the way into the flight, I suddenly realize this is not fantastic. Things are not okay. And I immediately I'm sweating again, and I just turn gray. So then I just beeline it to the bathroom, right? So I'm in there, and I shut the door, and I can tell that, wait a minute, what's that sound? That's the creamer lid, like the single-serving creamers. Uh-huh. I can hear them just opening the creamers. Now, if on that side they're opening creamers and I can hear it, on this side, anything I do, I know they can hear it.
Didn't you know airport bathrooms, they're magical. You can't hear what's going on inside. That's what
I wish.
That's what I tell myself
I wish.
all the time.
Yeah. So, like, I'm trying to... Wait, what was her voice like? Okay, so she's gone, and then just let loose, right? And every time I think it's done, it's not. Like, just some fresh hell starts. And then people would, like, try the door, and they're like, not done yet. And you're like, is there somebody still in there? He's been in there a long time. This is a flight from Philly to Austin. And I'm in there, like, the whole time. And then I come out, and I'm just like, my shirt, I just sweated through my entire shirt. And then I step out, and, like, she's right there, just like, ugh. Like, she's disgusted by me. So I just, for shame, I feel the shame. And then I land, and that was the end of that adventure. Like, that's probably, like, the worst experience I've had on the road. In all my adventures, that was one of them.
Wow, yeah.
Thank you.
I think you beat me.
Just know
I don't want to win that one. I don't want to win that.
Just know for what it's worth.
I think you beat me.
Your time going through that hell was the reason you did that was to tell that story on Monday Club.
Oh, yep. Man. You beat me when you got to a dorm room, woke up in the middle of the night. That right there, that's the...
God, I hate... Yeah, so that's always in the back of my mind. So any student activities people that are listening to this, please, always get a hotel room because you don't want what's about to happen on your campus.
Well, and the funny part about that is... You could have played that in so many different ways. You could play that by being like, oh, I'm ashamed that that's what happened. Or you could be like, hey, I don't know what happened last night. There's a llama involved. You're going to want to check your towels. I don't know.
Burn everything. I don't care if it's an heirloom. Burn it. It is unclean.
So one of the funniest and most asshole-ish running gags of our group of performer friends is when someone tells a story that makes us all crack up. Invariably, while everybody's laughing, somebody says, "Why aren't you this funny in your show?" Well, recently David Hall joined us in the studio, and he told us of a story that he can't ever recreate that was truly hilarious. Hope you enjoy.
No, it was a flat. It was flat.
I actually have another really funny one from years ago.
Do it.
So wait, before I get into that, there was a curtain. Did you go behind a curtain?
No, I basically walked off the proverbial stage and in through a door into a kitchen.
Oh, you were in the kitchen. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
At least no one could see.
Well, they saw that I couldn't get out.
That's fantastic. Oh my gosh. So years ago, I used to perform with a bunny rabbit, and my bunny rabbit got out backstage, and I'm performing on the stage, and all of a sudden he comes out behind me, like he get out of his cage, and he comes out behind me in between the curtains, and people start screaming at me, and I'm like, what's going on? And I turn around and I see him sitting there and he's just looking at me. And this was like a big theater. And I was like, oh, come here. And I went to grab him. And he turned and he darted behind the curtain. So then I ran after him. I said, excuse me. And I ran after him through the middle of the curtain. And I can't say I'm even making this up. I go out behind the curtain to find him. I can't find him. And then they're going crazy. He circled around on the left side of the audience, and he comes back in on stage left. Now he's taking the center of the stage. And then I see him, and I circle around, so I start running from the back of so they see me run, and then as I run down this side of the stage, I chase him all the way down, and he turns the corner, and I'm sprinting after him, and I go behind the curtain again, and I can't find him, and he darts through the middle of the curtain.
It's like a Three Stooges skit.
It was like a Three Stooges skit. People thought it was planned. It was hysterical. Ultimately, I wind up catching him, but yeah, it was hilarious.
Oh, dude, yeah, that was one of those things where you just can never do that again.
No,
right?
It could never be. It could never be done again. It was comedy gold when it happened, and I couldn't have planned it more. You know.
Yeah, that's great.
Awesome, man.
Teachable moments.
So my teachable moment this week, peeps, is that you should always surround yourself with amazing and talented people. People who push you to make you better, and people who always make you look good. I know if you're listening to Monday Club that you do that for me. I hope you have a great week, and we will see you back here next Monday on Monday Club.
Oh, thank you guys so much for being part of Monday Club. Check us out, MondayClubPodcast.com, on Facebook, /Monday Club Podcast, Twitter, Monday Club Pod, Instagram, @Monday Club Podcast. Email us questions, comments, concerns. We're collecting questions for an Ask Us Anything or buy us a drink. PayPal us at MondayClubPodcast@gmail.com. Thank you to Yeah, James Caldwell, our sound engineer, and Zach Holder for our music. We love you. Be merry on this magnificent Monday.